What is up everybody, Joey back again with another video on Valorant. Today's video is going to be how to double your FPS on Valorant. Before we get into this one though, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support on the last video. It is so much appreciated. And can we smash 60 likes on this one? Anyway, I'm not here to waste your time. Let's get into the video. So to begin with, we are going to go down to the bottom left, go to Task Manager, go up to your Valorant file, go to Details, right click, and set the priority as high. This is going to put more pressure on the CPU rather than the GPU to go to Valorant to then help it out. The next thing we want to do is go to the defragment and optimize drives file, go to ones that haven't been defragged and click analyze. This is going to allow the PC to go through the hard drives, make sure that it is free of space and gets rid of all the junk in the background. Those are the two main things we can do to speed up the computer in general. Now let's go into the Valorant settings. On the first page, you're probably going to be met with either match or general. None of these really matter, although I would go to the bottom of general and just turn off show corpses and show blood. This is going to help you maximize FPS as these things can dip them down. The next thing we're going to do though is go to the all important video area. Now just before we change any of these settings, I want to show you that I'm getting around 220 FPS, fairly static, but that can all be changed very easily. So we're going to go into the resolution first. Now for the maximum amount of FPS, the further you go down, the more FPS you will get. However, if you want a 4x3, I do think the 1280 by 960 is a lot better than the others. And if you really do want to go to stay in your kind of monitor format, I would just go down to the 1280 by 720. So we're going to keep everything else on full screen. Don't worry too much about the letterbox and fill, just keep them as they are. It doesn't really affect your FPS, it's more of an aesthetic purpose. You can try both and see what you prefer. On the limit FPS boundaries, on the batteries, doesn't really matter unless you have a laptop. If you do have a laptop, I would probably limit this just to 60. However, I have a computer, so there's no need for that. In the menus, you probably want to keep it at 30, especially if you're streaming. It's not the best that Valorant's taking up most of your stream. And for the limit FPS, this is the important one. So if you have a 60 Hz monitor, which you'll be able to see up here, you want to go with about 120 FPS. If you have a 144 Hz monitor, I would hit around the 200 to 300 mark. And if you have a 240 Hz monitor, go with the 300 to 400. I like to go with 300. It's completely preference. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but it's just to be safer than sorry. Now, the most important thing here is graphics. Now, you can have a play around yourself, but if you have a low-end PC, my best recommendation is just to spam the off, lows, none, one, off, 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 off. Now, some people do like to keep the clarity a little bit higher, so that is completely preference, and if you do or don't want to do it, that is completely up to you. So now jumping into my game, as you can see, my FPS pretty much stays around the 300 mark. It has a few dips, but I honestly feel like that's a bit of a game error rather than anything else. As you can see, my FPS in the top right and the top left don't really correspond at all, so I have a feeling that's a little bit of an error. However, as you can see, the game is a lot more stable. It seems a lot smoother, and especially for someone like me who has a higher hertz refresh rate on their monitor, this is a million times better. Anyway, I hope this helps you, and if it doesn't, please leave a comment down below of what's happening, and I will try to get back to all the comments to help you sort it out. Anyways, this has been Joey. Enjoy the rest of your day, and peace. Goodbye.